Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I just wanted to do a review on my Numot deck. I am debating on just scrapping it and starting to make something else for a couple reasons, but there's already a lot of cards that are I've taken out, and then because I'm putting them in different decks already, because I'm finding myself I'm struggling to come up with reasons to bring this out when I go to when I meet a bunch of randos, at my locals. So this is not like a deck that, you want to bust out when you get into a new pod, right? And even known play groups, there are some people that are okay with this deck. It's still not, a pleasant time. But anyway, I've made some changes since the last video I did, when I did that one video on a good deck to get into Commander. That was a joke, obviously, or maybe it wasn't, I don't know. Numot, one of the things that I really did not want to build was just another Voltron Commander. Unfortunately, this is what the deck has turned into, and that was one of the main things I didn't really want to happen, but it's happening, and here we are. So Numot, one thing that I didn't know in the first time I made this deck was you can actually trigger this ability twice, but obviously he has to deal the combat damage twice to do it. So we're going to be seeing some cards that kind of help out with that. So the 1 mana, Brave the Elements. People hate Numot, so they're gonna try to kill him. Spell Pierce, quick interaction, Lightning Bolt for commanders who have toughness 3 or less, which, my goodness, or any creatures that have power 3 or less that are just problematic. That's mainly what it's used for. Blood Artist combos, you want to ping them and get them out of the way before they do anything. My goodness though, a lot of these new commanders, they have toughness 4 and they have ward 2 for some reason, and they're a 2 mana commander. It's okay, whatever, dude. This is another protection spell, the Brave the Elements, Curious Obsession. We're doing a lot of combat damage, so might as well draw some cards. Also gets a +1/+1, so it turns into 7, and if you hit someone with the double strike and then you hit them again, they're dead, and then you've blown up a lot of lands from that. So Slip Out the Back, it's just really good. Also puts a counter on it. Says 21 is commander damage, right? So he's a 6/6 +1. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Curiosity does the same thing. Consider. Runic Shot with the kicker, does quite a bit. So it's just a nice little removal spell. It has to be tapped, but it's, the creature has to be tapped, but whatever. Soul Ring, just, because Syncopate and then Assault Strobe. Target creature gets a double strike till end of turn. And then Combat Research. And then I think we have, this is our last 1 mana one. Okay. I definitely just cut a lot of expensive cards out, mana expensive cards. So Sky Diamond, and Pending Disaster, I hesitated a lot playing this, because this is usually a turn 2 thing, and then it's if I blow up my lands that early, what's the follow-up play? Even later in the game, it's kind of not that good, but I don't know. One card I don't have is Armageddon. I know that one's a big one for people, but it's just way too expensive right now. It's $20 or something. Mind Stone adds mana. Solar Transformer, No More Lies. This one makes people tell the truth, obviously. Felwar Stone. A lot of ramp stuff here. Iron Mire. Or Mirror? Yeah, Mirror, I think that's how you say it. Swiftwood Boots. Obviously. Marble Diamond. Tremble. This is a card I would have to play after playing all my mana rocks and then play this, so it's alright. I don't think it's really the deck for it. Chart of Course is obviously just a good card with or without attacking. Arcane Signet. Impulse is insane. Stagger Insight. Just +1/+1 gives a lifelink on all that, and when it deals damage, I draw a card. Negate, another ramp card. Double Strike. Flash. It's basically just first card we looked at, whatever it's called. It's just another protection spell, basically. The Brave the Elements, except it's an enchantment, so it'll stay on them, and it doesn't remove the other enchantments that are already on there. Soul Partition. Interesting card. Don't know if it's like that good. In this deck, I felt like it was good because we're kind of taxing the people out of the game by blowing up their lands. Thought Vessel, Guardian Idol, Double Strike, draw a card. Pretty straightforward. Fire Diamond, Damping Spear, obviously, because that's how we kind of shut people down. And we're really not playing that many spells a turn anyway. We're playing Numot, and then his abilities are activated or triggered abilities when they attack. Narset, another 3 mana. Narset's great. Relic, again, more like not a big fan of these 3 mana rocks, but you know, it's kind of how the deck was just made, I guess, when I was building it. I didn't know how else to turbo it out, I guess, because like the really good mana rocks are obviously like, you know, $500-600. So it gives them hexproof, exile permanent. It's okay. Rule of Law, obviously. Stroke of Midnight. This card, I saw this and I was like, there's no way this is like actually a card. It says whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, they sack a land. Like, okay, that's definitely going in, obviously. Worn Power Stone. It's just Soul Ring, but a lot worse. Commander's Spear. This card's great. Gives them indestructible. Gives them Double Strike permanently. And then I saw this and I'm like, I don't really understand how this is a blue card. So it's whenever a player plays a creature spell, they sack a permanent unless they pay 1. Like, okay, I guess I'll put it in. It, again, another taxing thing and really annoying, but I don't know why it's in blue. Vanish, just exiles an online permanent. Costs 3 more if it targets a creature, which kind of sucks, but I mean, there's a ton of permanents nowadays that like you just need to get rid of. Neutralize, Wrath of God. If people are getting a bunch of creatures out, like what's that commander? It's mono green elves. If they're ramping into Crit Hoof, you want to blow the board up before you can, you know, get your stuff out, right? Thing is we'll sort this out a little bit better. Supreme Verdict, I don't know. His artwork's interesting. Can't be countered, which is good. Thing is obviously, when you blow up a bunch of lands, then they take more damage. So it's actually, I don't know. It's not like, it's really not that good. It's 4 mana, and then you have to wait for the value, because then you have to wait a turn. Well, you don't have to wait. You can attack and blow some lands up, but like, I don't know. It's like 4 mana, and this deck is already blowing up our own lands too on top of this. You know, it's just kind of a mess. Day of Judgment, solely. This card is fine. It's fine. It's not that good, but it's fine. All right, Keldon Firebombers. This is the only other creature in the deck. I put him in recently, but like a week ago, I think. They sacrifice all their lands except for 3 each player, so it's pretty good, And then Wake of Destruction. I was debating on taking this out, but it's 6 mana, so I don't know. Lands, I'm playing 38 because I want to make sure that I'm hitting my land drops in this deck, because if I don't, I'm going to be really behind with a 6 mana commander. I had the shock, is it land in here? I don't remember the name at the top of my head. Steam Vents, and I took it out for another deck. These main lands are fine, they get the job done. Obviously, colors are primarily red, so this is, I think, the only red and white tap land I have. I could probably get a Spire Bluff is, decent. I'd probably get a Triumph for this, but again, I don't really know if I want to keep playing the deck. I never mind, I have Sacred Peaks. Command Tower, it's whatever. Snarl, another Snarl. Evolving Wilds, that way we can get our correct lands in time. Indestructible, so I should probably realistically play all 3, right? So the red-white one, and then the blue-white one. I don't know. Should play all 3, huh? Another Pain Land, and then Sulphur Falls. So, let me know what you guys think. I guess I just it's a deck that I'm considering just taking apart and making something else with, because again, the other problem is, just like all the other commanders that I've shown, well, I guess Mr. Progress Tyrant, it's the same problem where they see what you're playing and they're like, okay, well, we have to play bracket 4 decks now because they don't want to deal with this. They want to get the game over with. And it's understandable. Like I said, I don't blame people for that. The problem is the deck sometimes isn't powerful enough to get there, because when you start hitting bracket 4 and 5, blowing up lands, it's still decent, but it's not really, it's not really like that good, I guess, unless you're like really fast at it, so even then, like, for example, I was playing a game against it was a Izzet player, a Storm deck, I think it was a Mizzix actually, which I do have that deck too, and I absolutely love it. Combo kill, a lot of things you have to put together before you can get there. Really fun deck. Anyway, then I was playing against, what is that deck called? I think it's Magna or whatever. And then someone was playing a 5-color deck, Eldrazi deck. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, I got Numot out on turn 3, and I was completely just devastating the table. Like, I was ahead, but the game, people started answering my stuff, and as the game went on, the Izzet player just comboed off and won anyway. So, and that game ended on like turn 6, I think. So turn 6 or 6 or 7. I didn't want to say that, but in and around turn 7-ish. It's just again the same problem of it doesn't win the game fast enough, because you have to hit people at least 3 times, each player 3 times, and then I guess you can blow up you know, you don't have to blow up the person you're attacking's lands anyway. You can blow up other people's lands, which, you know, that's pretty decent, but a lot of times they already have threats on the board anyway, so it's like, I don't know. I think, because like, if you're gonna build a Voltron commander, why not build one that like just one shots one person, one shots the next person, you know what I mean? I don't know. So thinking about taking it apart, I'm not too sure. If you guys have other suggestions, I know that there's other ways to build it. There's stacks kind of stuff, and personally, I'm not a fan of stacks at all. I don't like playing it. I know people like playing it, and they are good. Smothering Tides, Mystic Remora, or I mean, there's other ones that make your stuff cost more, but and all that. But like, I just don't want to. I don't want to spend, you know, $50-$60 more, you know. So I'm kind of where I'm at. So yeah, that's all.